Good morning, everyone. This is Harper Harp. I'm again back. Just want to say something. I know my videos may not mean a lot to some people, and some people may not know about my channel, but please tell them because we just want to keep each other abreast and abrupt, literally. Because there's a time where there's all out crisis against us, black people in this society, all out crisis. And a lot of times we have problems with each other. Being in this situation as a black person, you're also suffering each other. So that's something we need to look at as well. And I'm gonna talk about that right now. Hold on. It warms my heart that we are, coming together on a movement. But let's talk about everything, in terms of what we have to experience. I'm at my place of employment, and I work in corporate and with corporate. But people get positions, and I've been following my political analysts and mentors, and I learned how to do things as a young black man, and it works once you are methodical and you learn and you become astute and you get knowledge and you're aware of things. You learn how to process and grow within systems and establishment as a black person because you've been affected in the society and they don't want you to have the best a lot of times. And what they have done is denied us so much. Our community is dysfunctional where we don't want each other to have things sometimes. And I experienced that at my place of um, employment, where I served it as a communications person. And I experienced that. And I remember me becoming top tier in terms of what I do. And nobody else had a problem with this. No, none of the team. Everybody was receptive to me. I'm writing emails. I've written letters. I'm writing modules. I'm giving instructions and writing instructions, and people are receptive. It's appropriate. The only two people that had a problem that was on my team were two black women. They had nothing to do with my upcoming, nothing to do with what I do. Don't even really know, but they started questioning things that were weird, and it baffled me, and I wondered. I said, what kind of code of conduct do we have for nothing to be wrong or to be broke, and you try to fix it even when it doesn't concern you? So these women, they tried to blame me for something that it wasn't my actions several times, and it was like, oh, that wasn't you. Well, why did you have the idea that it was me? Is the question that I'm concerned about. How can you be so presumptuous that you would say someone made an action that you didn't even research, and you shouldn't have been researching anyway because I'm the actual administrator. So it's weird. And one lady, she told me, she said, "You're not a such and such, my title." I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Well, you're still learning." It was a black lady. I said, "Excuse me?" And she said, "Well, I only report to such a." I said, "Well, I'm not telling you to report to me. And there is a learning process." But I kind of felt myself explaining myself to her. And I'm like, these were two black women. We got to treat each other better than this. When you see somebody with that another black person moving up and doing stuff like that, you have to understand there is nobody there to harm. There is nobody, you as a black person, me as a black person, there's nobody on your side. And if you want to harm me or question me about some position that's owned by white people, or they own land and immigrants own buildings and establishment, over whatever we do in terms of administrative work or serve or executive style, let me tell you, we not hurt nobody but each other. That is petty. We got bigger and fish to fry and bigger fish and things to do. We need to be worried about our political stance, where we need to come in terms of building our own facility and our own establishment. We don't need to be dealing with somebody who, and these people that do this are people that are asleep too. A lot of times, you probably voted for Joe Biden, and don't even know what's going on politically, and just running around black people like a deer in headlights, or like a chicken with his head cut off. You, as a black person, need to pull back, slow down, and see your state, see your reality, so that you can see your victory and win. Because you are lost, a lot of you. A lot of you are lost. And we've been talking for 10 years for y'all to come to the media, our media, not mainstream media, to come to the Black Channel, the Black Truth, all of the people that's talking politically about our concerns, to come and listen in and to grab the knowledge and be receptive to what you are hearing and take your time. I've had people, black people, to tell me, well, what's with the long introductions? When you go to church, you got a long introduction every time you up in there, when you go there. So you have to understand that as well. So we are executing for the greater good. And it's kind of sad and damaging to see black people that are supposed to be smart people, people with degrees, even politicians that are not paying attention to our due diligence and what we're doing, and that are not paying attention. And we have a real sophisticated approach, and it's prestigious. It's concerning our lives, even. I mean, it's really alarming. It's not just something we're doing, it's something we have to do. And for you to be a black person, the slave descendant with a degree, and out here serving in the community and doing administrative work and executive and doctors and working as politicians, we realize how you've been affected. And in the community, you've been really harmed to not be total destitute, but not, you're in slavery and you don't even know it. It's levels to this pyramid. You're under America. The science points to it. Some of you have comfortability. You have things that make you comfortable, but you're under America, and you serve under America in terms of status. You may be serving on this level or that level, but as a black person, as a descendant of slavery, as FBA or ADOS, you are serving under America, because the science shows us you suffer what we suffer. Because I have great uh, experiences in careers. I have some things but we have to pay for everything we get. We don't get a break, and we don't live like a person that's been constituted as an American to take advantage of her liberties, which is freedoms. We don't even experience that, really. It's very unique for a black person to be able to experience that, and that is having land and opportunity and being buffered into ownership and having capital and exchange within community and having wealth, which is a community sport among each other, and then being functional and not dysfunctional in terms of growing and getting each other to grow, and having a better anchor and a better comfortability of a comfortable way of choosing, so that you don't suffer these kind of crises in terms of being impoverished, and in terms of having a community that lives under America as slave descendants, and that came from slavery, and that suffered the fact that something worked against you for the country and not you, and that was slavery, chattel slavery, and then Jim Crow, and then now oppression in terms of slavery on different levels. Just like Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed more if they knew that they were slaves. Slaves told on each other. They were afraid. Some other black people enslaved the other because slavery was a thing. That still doesn't make, white people will say, well, some black people enslave other people, blacks. Well, that's because slavery had been constituted a thing and sanctioned as a law to this country by white people. And also Africans sold you. Well, we're not giving Africans credit. We're talking about that too. We're saying the African panism. We have to understand us panning to them to be an African. We have to understand our state in this country and what they have done to us. And now we're learning, and we as a group, the New Voices of Black Media, are teaching each other and teaching our people to be more astute in terms of society, people exchange, humanity, and also mainly politically. All of that falls on the political anchoring. And you have to know you've been affected at your front door, your daily walk, and with you going in and out of establishment, and and also dealing and your dealings in the daily walk of your progression of being progressive in terms of what you can do and what you can access. You're not set up in a way where you can access this country the way Americans do, and in terms of a dream country. Even those who are rich, we understand you've been affected because the laws don't protect you. Double jeopardy only happened to Bill Cosby. You have to understand this. And Oprah Winfrey didn't retire. She was told to step down, and she was a pitch girl. She was an actual pitch girl for the white corporate and the white media. You have to understand this. She had to buy a used satellite. She can't be like the Jews who were harmed in the Holocaust, where they have brand new satellites. They could be spying on that satellite. And plus, her company has been bought out. Also, BET. BET been bought out. You have to understand the power that happens with government. And government is white in America. And white is not a color. It is a religion and a fixation. But thank you for joining me. Reparations is our movement, and we look forward to correcting our situation and getting reparations and correcting. And also, we look forward to putting laws and enforcing laws in effect that protect us, and we won't be harmed with people getting impunity, harming black people. You see, this is a war. And black people within facility and social construct treat each other right and abrupt each other. Don't do that. Don't get in front of each other's success. That's a dysfunctional people. That's a crab in a bucket. And this is what have happened to us in terms of how we've been anchored. But thank you for joining me. I'm Harper Harp. Support the channel. Go to my Cash App. I like to build and support and keep giving you guys discourse. And I appreciate it very much. And shout out to the new grassroots and the new voices of black media.